This week's video was dedicated to my ex-father-in-law, Charles Wall, who passed away this Wednesday. Chuck was a God-fearing, loyal man who lived his life selflessly for others. He loved his grandkids, my children. Chuck, you are going to be sorely missed, and I cannot begin to thank you for all the gifts and favors that you've done for me, and more importantly, my children. May you rest in peace. It is a beautiful day to start living your life the way you want to live it. Welcome back to the Forward Focus Finish series. I'm Jason. I'd like to wish everyone a blessed Memorial Day, and if we could just take a moment to recognize all those veterans who made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. Thank you for your service. This is our fourth entry into the series, 1 month since we started this journey together. And I've got to be honest, I'm pretty happy with the results so far. Each video is averaging 100 views, far more than I ever expected initially getting out of the gate here. So I really want to thank you for your feedback and for your views. Now again, if this series is something that you're enjoying, I do ask that you please share it and you do subscribe, because I am going to upload videos every Sunday. In last week's video, I alluded to the fact that the first 3 topics that we covered were going to kind of combine under one umbrella, and that's what we're going to cover today. Today's video is going to center around the book Wisdom from the Four Agreements, which is a Cliff Notes version of the book The Four Agreements by Miguel Ruiz. I'm going to include a link in this video so you can purchase the book on Amazon Prime for $5.95. If you're a Prime member, it'll be free shipping. The book itself is very compact and you can probably finish it in about 30 minutes, but it's a great springboard into the Four Agreements themselves. It gives you a nice introduction to what the Four Agreements are all about. The author's take on life is a series of agreements that we've made with ourselves. Agreements since the day that we were born, all through adulthood. The best analogy I could give for that is if you take a baby elephant and you tie it to a pole and it can't get away, as that baby elephant grows, it's going to think it can never break away from that pole. Even when it gets to a massive size where it can easily rip that pole out of the ground and wander free, it's convinced itself that it cannot break free, so it won't try. That's the idea behind the Four Agreements. The agreements that we've made up until this point in our life are stifling us and limiting us, and we have to break free of those agreements, limiting ourselves to only 4. The first agreement, and probably the most powerful one, is be impeccable with your word. The concept here is our words are like a dual-edged sword, where on one edge of the sword we can carve the most beautiful sculpture, and on the other edge of the sword we can create the most damaging violence. Take for instance this phrase, "You are so stupid," versus "You're so stupid." Those can be taken in 2 completely different ways. One can tear somebody down, the other one can build someone up, depending on the context. Human beings are the only creature on earth who are given the ability to speak and communicate, and it's imperative that we are always conscious of how we use those words, because again, even in the most fleeting of circumstances, we can hurt somebody on a permanent level. Now this agreement is the most challenging of all 4 because it has the word impeccable, and impeccable means without sin or perfection. It's very, very difficult to go an entire day without saying anything damaging about somebody. However, like anything, practice will breed perfection. It takes 21 days to create a habit, right? Well, if we diligently focus on being impeccable with our word from the minute we get up to the minute we close our eyes at night, we can perfect this very, very important strategy. Our words are powerful. We need to understand that. The power of our words can create life or it can create poison. If I say something damaging to you, I'm actually hurting myself, because if I say something damaging to you, you're going to hate me, and your hate is no good for me. But if I say something uplifting or positive, then you are going to love me, and your love is good for me. In last week's video, we addressed name calling. Name calling is probably the #1 way we can hurt somebody with our words. And generally, it's not even done to that person's face. It's done through the form of gossip. Gossiping is probably the worst way that we can break this first agreement. When a situation comes up and gossiping is presented, you can either partake in the gossip or close your ears and close your mind and not partake. If it gets to a certain point, get up and walk away. By removing yourself from that situation, you're going to remove yourself from the temptation of gossiping. You will immediately see a difference as far as how that translates into your everyday mode of thought. The human mind is like a fertile ground where seeds are continually being planted. The seeds are opinions, ideas, and concepts. The word is pure magic. We plant a seed, a thought, and it grows. Every human is a magician, and we thoughtlessly cast spells on each other all the time with our opinions. Someone gives an opinion and says, "Look, that child is ugly." The child listens, believes she is ugly, and grows up with this idea. It doesn't matter how beautiful she is, as long as she has that agreement, she will believe that she is ugly. That is the spell she is under. Impeccability of your word can lead you to personal freedom, and you can attain heaven on earth by just agreeing to this one agreement. It is that powerful. Anything anyone ever says or does is not because of you. It is because of them. Their perception is their reality, just like your perception is your reality. The second agreement is don't take anything personally. If we think back to our second video, controlling our reactions and controlling our emotions, giving that opportunity between cause and effect gave us a moment to observe what was going on, to realize what was happening wasn't happening to you, it was happening in front of you. Big difference. Now, when you take things personally, you're allowing the other person to affect you emotionally. They're going to reel you in with all that poison. You have the ability to shut it out and not fall victim to those predators. As the author states, immunity to emotional poison is the gift of this agreement. When you take things personally, you feel offended, and your reaction is to defend your beliefs and create conflicts. You make something big out of something little because you have the need to be right and make everyone else wrong. You try hard to be right by giving them your own opinions, but what you say, what you do, and the opinions you have are according to the agreements you have made. And these opinions have nothing to do with the people around you. Your point of view is something personal to you. It is no one's truth but yours. The idea here is what I say or do is not against you. You have wounds that you allow my actions or words to touch, which impact you. And you have the ability to keep those wounds covered and protected, so my actions or my words don't affect you in any way. Everywhere you go, you're going to run into people who lie to you. And those individuals also lie to themselves. Because of this, you can't trust anybody. Because they lie to themselves, they're certainly going to lie to you. But they lie to you because they don't want to take off their social mask and prove to you they're imperfect. You have to trust yourself and choose to believe or not to believe what someone says to you. If others say one thing but do another, you are lying to yourself if you don't listen to their actions. But if you are truthful with yourself, you will save yourself a lot of emotional pain. Telling yourself the truth may hurt, but you don't need to be attached to the pain. If someone is not treating you with love or respect, then it is a gift if they walk away from you. If they don't walk away and you stay around, you are going to endure many years of suffering. Walking away may hurt for a while, but your heart will eventually heal. Then you can choose what you want. As you make this agreement part of your everyday life, you won't need to trust the words or actions of other people. You will only need to trust yourself. In our first video, we tried to go 24 hours without complaining. By doing so, we removed the predictability of the day. We stopped making assumptions about what could happen and just started to go with the flow. Whatever life threw at us, we just dealt with. The third agreement is don't make assumptions. When we make assumptions about what other people are saying or doing, we take it personally. We get mad and we blame them and we send them emotional poison with our words. Making assumptions in our relationships is really asking for problems. Often we make the assumption that our partners know what we think and that we don't need to tell them what we want. We assume they are going to know what we want because they know us so well. If they don't do what we assume they should do, we feel hurt and say, "You should have known." The most effective way to avoid making assumptions is by asking questions, keeping communication open and clear, telling individuals what you want, and asking them to clarify what they want. In society, we have agreed that it's not safe to ask questions, that people who know us should instinctively know what we want or what we need. And when they don't, we get angry with them, and we defend our position to the point where we ruin relationships. Communication is key and pivotal to this third agreement. Often when you begin a relationship with someone you like, you only see what you want to see, and you deny there are things that you don't like about the person. You lie to yourself just to make yourself right and to justify why you like that person. Then you make assumptions, and one of the assumptions is, "My love will change this person." But this is not true. Your love will not change anybody. If others change, it's because they want to change, not because you can change them. Let's say one day something happens between you and your partner, and you get hurt. Suddenly you see in this person what you don't want to see. Only now you have to justify the emotional pain by blaming the other person for your choices. Real love is accepting the person for who they are. If you try to change a person, then you really didn't like them to begin with. The relationship's going to be doomed from the start. You're much better off waiting and finding someone who you like as they are and don't desire for them to change. The biggest assumption we make is that others see the world the same way that we do. They feel the way we feel. They judge the way we judge. If you take a child and tell them to draw something that you like, they're going to draw something that they like and assume that you like it too. It's the same concept. Everyone has their own perception. Everyone has their own reality. The sooner we begin to understand and accept that the world does not see everything through our eyes, the easier it will be to grasp and put into effect this third agreement. The fourth and final agreement is about putting in action the other three. Always do your best. The concept here is quality over quantity in your approach of putting the first three agreements into effect. Now, regardless of the quality, you never want to stop trying to do your best. But you don't want to try too hard. If you try too hard, then you're going to spend more energy than necessary, and your results are going to be less than your best. If you try too little, then you're going to open yourself up to self-ridicule and self-judgment. But if you effectively always try your best, then you're free of judgment because you put your best effort forward and you did the best you could. If you've done your best and your inner judge tries to judge you according to your book of laws, your answer is, "I did my best," and you're free of judgment. There was a man who wanted to transcend his suffering, so he went to a Buddhist temple to find a master to help him. He went to the master and asked, "Master, if I meditate 4 hours a day, how long will it take me to transcend?" The master looked at him and said, "If you meditate 4 hours a day, perhaps you will transcend in 10 years. Thinking he could do better, the man then said, "Oh, master, what if I meditate 8 hours a day? How long will it take me to transcend?" The master looked at him and said, "If you meditate 8 hours a day, perhaps you will transcend in 20 years. "But why will it take me longer if I meditate more?" the man said. The master replied, "You are not here to sacrifice your joy or your life. You are here to live, to be happy, and to love. If you can do your best in 2 hours of meditation, but spend 8 hours instead, you will only grow tired and miss the point. You won't enjoy your life. Do your best, and perhaps you will learn that no matter how long you meditate, you can live, love, and be happy." When you always do your best, you're taking action. You're taking action because you're doing what's right, not for any anticipation of a reward, just because it's the right thing to do. As a result, you end up enjoying the action. Now, most people do the opposite. They work and work and work for a reward, and then they don't enjoy the action. If you learn to take action without expecting a reward, then you're going to enjoy every action that you do. And rewards will come, but you won't have to be attached to those rewards. God is life in action. The best way to say I love you, God, is to live your life doing your best. The best way to say thank you, God, is by letting go of the past and living in the present moment. Whatever life takes away from you, let it go. When you surrender and let go of the past, you allow yourself to be fully alive in the moment. Letting go of the past means you can enjoy the dream that is happening right now. Each and every one of us were born with the right to be happy, born with the right to love and enjoy life. Take control of your life. Do what you can to take these 4 agreements and put them into effect. Be diligent with them, but be patient with yourself. You won't transform overnight. But if you're steadfast and you're determined, and you can break the other agreements that you've already made and put into effect these 4, your life is going to change right in front of your eyes, and your loved ones are going to benefit from it. But you are going to benefit the most. I hope you've enjoyed this week's video, and I'm really excited to see how your progress goes. I do encourage you guys to leave any comments, send me any messages. I love hearing from you guys. It kind of rejuvenates me every week to do these for you. It takes a little bit of time, but it's absolutely worth it. So once again, if you're liking these videos and you're not yet a subscriber, you can subscribe by clicking the button here, somewhere in this area, and you can check out last week's video here. And again, I encourage you to share these videos with anyone. Until next time, be the best you can be, and as always, forward focus finish.